I have two of these reflectives because they're not quite long enough to cover the length of the human body. So right up to the head where your pillow is, one right down to the foot end, stuffed inside a sleeping bag liner. Very thick foam rubber pad yoga mat. There's a lot of pack to fit in, and it looks quite bulky, but it's quite deceptive because none of it has any weight issues to it. And at the very bottom there, that's my ground insulator, so that goes inside the tent, and the blue goes under the tent. The bit in the middle here, that's my actual bivvy, which is about the same size as a hiking tent, but this weighs a lot less. All this is my footprint, which is my blue tarp and a couple of insulating pads with the reflectives built in. So there's one unit. Okay, now it looks like these deserve to be heavy bits of kit because you know, there's a lot of volume there, but it's only a foam mat along with very small self-inflating air mattress and a couple of reflectives, but it's worth its weight. Well, actually there is no weight and there's hardly anything with this. It's the tent. This would be my hiking tent, could be your bivvy, with the insulator and footprint. Two bits of kit. Very bulky, but these can easily be tied underneath your Bergen, on top, however you want to carry them, you know, is however you feel comfortable with. So that only leaves a sleeping bag really for a camp kit, and that gets put in loose straight into the Bergen. This is a new bit of location for me. I've stumbled upon this, and the camera always makes things look quite glamorous, doesn't it? But it's quite dark and overgrown. It does have a trail which does seem to be quite clear, so people are using this as some sort of shortcut. And this is it here on the top. It's my version of the modern day bedroll, and this is good for popping either inside or outside your sleeping bag. This is great if you sleep on the ground, you're a ground dweller and you enjoy tent camping. Conversely, I wanted something equally as good for insulation inside the hammock. So I know it works, I've trialled it. I'm just going to very quickly show you this version of my first idea of the bedroll. Now the thing that makes this bedroll a little different is probably the properties it's used. I've used more up-to-date materials regarding the bedroll itself. Maybe I can do away without the air mattress. It doesn't seem to be quite prevalent in my life anymore. It will do one day. I'm not saying I'm going to give it up. I'm just showing you this. Now it's been contained within a dry sack, a canoeing dry sack for waterproofing. So there's a dry sack. bungeed it up just for compression. I'll probably use Velcro straps for compression at the end of this. But I'm going to lay it out here and just show you how versatile this little bit of kit really is. And it's a prototype, so it's a little messy. I'm going to tidy it up once I know this works. Now this isn't a closed cell foam pad, but it is a yoga mat, and it's my personal yoga mat. It's how I strengthen up my bad back. And on the back, 2 reflective pads, which are the reflectives from a car windscreen, and it's just crudely taped on with a bit of duct tape just to hold it in place so far, and it's making a good job of holding it in its place, so nothing's going to shift about. Like I said, I could introduce an air mat on top of this, but then you're talking extra volume and a little extra weight, not a lot. So now it's time to put out the hammock, put this inside and test it out. Okay, there's the old girl up using the TW 10th Wonder. It's strung quite high, shoulder height, but hanging at one hell of a banana pitch. Higher on the head side than the foot end. Now everyone has a different way of setting these up. Some people like them quite taut, shoulder height, head height. Some people like them 45 degrees. This is quite a banana for me because it has to incorporate this. Now I simply lie on top of it. There she is. Now this is an 18mm thick yoga mat. My 2 closed cell foam pads, both together, was 12mm. And it did have a kind of built-in reflective, but it wasn't half as durable as these materials I'm using here. Hopefully this is a bit of kit that is going to last. I've read a lot of forums regarding these reflectives, and there is a reason why the reflective goes silver side down. If I was to spin it over and the reflective is on the upside and the foam was at the bottom, then the bottom of the mat itself would conduct cold from either the ground, if you're a ground dweller, or the air coming from underneath for a hammock camper, and the actual foam gets cold, and all you're lying on then is the reflective itself. So if you put the reflective at the bottom, your body heat will warm the foam pad, whether it's a closed cell foam pad or like I have here, experimenting with a yoga pad. So my body heat will warm the yoga pad, and to stop that heat from being lost altogether, then the silver reflective starts working and it radiates that heat back to me rather than being lost either to the ground or the cold air. Now I have a diagonal lie. I know a lot of hammock campers prefer the diagonal lie. I don't mind being in the banana. It allows me to sleep on my side or even my belly, because I'm a bit of a fidgeter, like to roll about. But this will take now about 10 minutes for the foam pad to start gathering my body heat, and then after about 10 minutes the silver reflective will throw that heat back, it'll radiate back to me, and it'll be nice and warm. Now, as you can imagine, this setup isn't going to be as cheap as the closed cell foam pads are ever going to be. They're really cheap and they work great, but the foam itself is going to get torn and ripped over time, but they're so cheap that you could afford almost to buy a couple every time you go camping. But I wanted something a little more enduring that was going to last a little longer. Now, it doesn't matter if you put this under your tent as a ground insulator or inside your sleeping bag for extreme winter warmth. I always find these things work a lot better inside the sleeping bag or inside the hammock as it is now. Okay, it has been roughly about 10 minutes and my backside nice and warm, my legs nice and warm. The top of my shoulders, my shoulder blades are probably the coolest so far, but certainly not cold. And as you can see, I only have a t-shirt on. I have a very dense canopy that the sunlight isn't coming through. So on my arms I can feel the cold if I put them out, but inside it's so much warmer. So that's a thumbs up for that. That's worked well. I don't know what kind of temperatures this system is going to go down to. On the forums, I believe they're good for winter camp. I'm dubious. It is warm, but I wouldn't say I'm hot. A little cold on my shoulders, so what I'm going to do, fold up my coat, lie on my coat, have my diagonal lie flat as a board. I think in winter incorporating this type of bedroll into an under blanket, if you have one, would work a treat. If you haven't got an under blanket, there's other things on my channel you can adapt to make one. Okay. It's got a lean on it. It's one big heavy tree. Ideally for an overnighter with a leaning tree like that, I'm sure it's solid, but there's others that have gone over in this little bit of woodland. I could use that one and that one, about the same distance as I just shown you. So if this one was to go over, I know it's falling that way, and it would probably rip my hammock apart and give me quite a bump as well. I think some sort of guinea fowl here, or a dog with a sore throat. Don't know what it is. Intriguing. Want to follow that. Ow. Keep following the footpath. Oh, he's up here now. I'm sure you'll know what sound that was and what bird it was. I don't. I think for an overnighter here, I wouldn't enjoy it too much. Although it is very, very secluded, it just lacks something that I like. I like a little more open canopy. I like to see the stars. I like to see the sun coming up in the morning. And it just feels too penned in. But it is nice and private. Okay, kind of snookered myself. I had to cross a field where the farmer has now got his tractor. He's going uphill and I need to get downhill. I'm probably on his land, so I'm going to wait until he goes up. I'm going to go down. Oh hell, he's turning. He's coming towards me. So I'm going to have to bide my time. Go around the edges. I haven't had time to check this plot out. I don't know all the exits. I only know the one, the way I came in. Bear with me. Okay, come on, let's go. Let's go, let's go. I want to see if I can make my exit. Keep on the move. Let's go. With a massive field to cross. I don't know if you can make the tractor out. He's come on, give me a break. Right, go, 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 go. I'm gonna stick to the edge. Got caught out there, didn't I? It's the only time that I'd have wished I'd have left my DPM on.